My bad, my bad. No warning. I don't know who's up. Probably a few people on the on the East Coast. I know all the West Coast brothers are asleep as hell. So let me do this like this. Um, so y'all see the title, Neoliberal Black Women. I'm going to, this one is just going to be a straight freestyle. The next one is going to be, we're going to give definitions again of neoliberal, and then we're going to go into why these women are important and what differentiates them from maybe some of your other black women. Some what may overlap with some divestors, what may overlap with black women in luxury, what may overlap with swirlers, what may overlap with black feminists or womenist. But on this one, you know, we're just freestyling. Okay, so I guess whenever somebody comes in, I guess y'all will leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Like I said, I know this is super last minute. I don't expect to have like anyone listening right now. Okay, this is inspired by a brother, and I will have your name and give you your props later. Who kind of signaled to me that Lexus Exodus works in corporate America. So I don't know how true that is. Maybe she does, maybe she doesn't. But I was listening to Chrissy, and she was speaking about something, and she kind of went into her being essentially she leans more conservative. And I thought that was interesting. Oh no, okay, yeah, she was speaking about Kanye and Candace Owens' White Lives Matter shirt. And she was saying how she leans more conservative. And I thought to myself, how many brothers are Trump supporters in this space or conservative and realize you share the same camp with Chrissy? And I would argue maybe Paris Milan, because Paris Milan, I remember listening to one of her streams, which obviously she deleted or she now has it on her Patreon, where she was like, you live in a capitalist society and money matters like this. And I'm like, I wonder how many brothers realize that they're in the same camp with these weirdos, because like y'all know that people like me on the left, we're in the camp with our weirdos. We know shit. We know we in the camp with the purple hair having, bra burning crazies. We know we're in that camp with them. Unfortunately, we understand. But how many of y'all really want to find out how many of these sisters y'all sharing over there, right? And I'm bringing that up not to taunt or make fun of my brothers on the right, but I am bringing it up for this reason. These women really got a hodgepodge of beliefs that fit them whenever. And when I say neoliberal black women, that's because they want a deregulated market until they realize what that looked like, right? Right? And like neoliberal, you think about Margaret Thatcher, and then you think about Margaret Thatcher saying there is no such thing as society. And that sounds a whole lot like there is no such thing as community. And then that sounds a whole lot like some of the things that some of these sisters be saying, right? Because things aren't going exactly the way I want it to go. In Chrissy's case, because Black America doesn't worship at the altar of dark-skinned black women, then there is no community, right? Not just simply colorism. No, I'm not letting her get away with just putting everything under the umbrella of colorism against dark-skinned black women, as if there's not colorism against dark-skinned black men. But she doesn't care about that, because in her mind, dark-skinned black men also perpetuate colorism. But then again, do dark-skinned black women not perpetuate colorism? You see how that goes? And then if we factor in that mothers are the primary caregivers and teachers of children, then doesn't that mean that colorism against dark-skinned black people would probably be taught at home by dark-skinned moms too? We don't want to have that conversation, huh? Okay, yeah. On a side note, also, Chrissy came out her mouth. Y'all are gonna be rolling when y'all hear this. This is gonna be Chrissy came out her mouth saying BLM was an organization essentially advocating for black men and centered black men. This lady is so delusional and insane now. She don't even realize how much BLM was using the dead bodies and blood of black men for the advancement of black LGBTQ causes. So, just on a side note, just y'all, so y'all could get y'all 5 chuckles in and y'all could realize how delusional. Remember, this is not a dumb woman, but her head is so far up her own rear end when it comes to these topics, and thinking that like every single thing in the black community is an affront to black women, specifically dark-skinned black women, that she has now reimagined BLM to center black men, even though their own leaked memo was talking about decentering straight black men. Like this is how insane the lady is now, right? This is how delusional she is now. But, you know, continuing. Once again, neoliberal black women, right? All about their money, all about the pennies, and almost willing to do anything to make that money. That's why I brought up the Paris Milan quote. And that's why I brought up Lexus Exodus potentially working in corporate America, right? Not only that, what you find out is how many of these women, and it's something I should have picked up on even earlier. Shout out to Shay Sade. Shay Sade mentioned something about marketing. A lot of these women are somehow tied to media or marketing or something like that. That's why for them, everything is about like image. Like it already, yes, obviously they're women, obviously, right? So duh, right? So women and shopping and consumerism and all that other stuff. But like image, and like the fact that they don't see enough images, and this is where like black women in luxury comes in, right? And like black women in soft life, because they don't see enough images of black women essentially being chocolate dip, upper middle class and rich white women on TV, that also, you know, annoys them and sticks in their craw, right? You know what really grinds my gears? They don't see enough black women being loved on by non-black men. They don't see enough black women living essentially, like I said, rich and upper middle class white women life painted black. And so you tie all of that together, and it's like a recipe for like these attention starved, angry, bitter women, right? Joe's will address that in a minute. Joe says, me and my girl broke up and I'm happy that I saw it coming. Yeah, bro, we that's what me and the Roger Report was trying to tell you. Well, now you could really start excelling in school. I think you were telling us that you were, you know, just entering your master's program. So yeah, bro, don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about that, right? So yeah, man. So you know, neoliberal women and how they assess masculinity, manhood, and no wonder these women tend to advocate for black women to date out and to marry out, right? You want this deregulated market. Y'all just don't like the way it look when the white guys don't have the same affinity for dating. Well, actually they do. They just don't marry out as much. But them white guys be banging everything. They still marry at home though, right? Y'all want the deregulated market until y'all see what it look like, right? It's interesting. It's, you want to regulate black men, but you want to be deregulated. You want to see images of non-black men loving on and spoiling black women. Cool. And that's exactly what the media is giving you. We're watching interracial commercial after we're watching commercial after commercial after commercial showing black women with white men, with Latino men, with Asian men. Now, is that reflected in society in the least bit? No. But the media, like, it's crazy. I don't think people really realize this. And remember, this is a freestyle. We're going to keep on coming back home to the neoliberal assessment of men by black women, by these particular black women that I'm mentioning, but we're going to go off on tangents. It's interesting. People forget, like, these advertisers, these different people are watching social media trends. They're watching the topics, right? And these big influencers, these celebrities, they're watching what we're talking about on the internet. All on Twitter, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, right? They're watching what we're speaking about. So black women are screaming from the mountaintops, right? About they want to be represented in these movies, in these TV shows, in these commercials, being loved on and being the center of attention and you know, being the main character, being loved on by non-black men. And so these movies are slowly showing that more and more, right? Television shows are slowly showing that more and more, but the commercials have just ramped up with showing black women in interracial situations, right? Now, is that reflected in society? No. Once again, like we already said, the marriage rate is falling off a cliff anyway, so black women are going to be filled with all of this representation that's not necessarily reflected out in the real world, which is going to make them more delusional and more angry when they keep on saying, these non-black men spoil their women and they pay. Did y'all remember? Did anyone remember seeing this? And Shay Sade actually covered this also. The black woman that was like, she said on Twitter, these non-black men spoil their dates and they pay for their nails or they pay for their hair or whatever for the first date and all this other stuff. And you had white guy after white guy after white guy that was like, what are you talking about? I'm white, I don't do that. What are you talking about? So like legitimately, you will see more and more of that. You're going to see more and more black women speaking like that, even though that is like nowhere near the truth, because they saw something on TV or in a commercial or in movies, right? And because media tends to skew upward and show like, you know, upper middle class and rich folks enjoying their life, because portraying middle class life sometimes is depressing, what's going to happen is these commercials and these TV shows and sometimes movies are going to show black women living upper middle class and rich lives with non-black men, and there's going to be like a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of black women actually living that life, which is obviously going to cause them to be more delusional. I'm just letting y'all know this now so that when your sister them and your cousin them and your niece them looking crazy as hell, talking crazy as hell about some fictional interracial relationships that they're seeing on media, but they're talking like these are reflected in real life, y'all can understand why. And y'all can prepare to either ignore them or, you know, however you're going to have that conversation with them, right? Once again, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Super chats will be read out loud, right? And I know this is like last minute. I didn't give y'all a warning for this. My apologies, right? But yeah, so this is what we're seeing reflected in our society. Like I said, the neoliberal assessment of manhood and masculinity, but also how these women are internalizing this. This is also why they think of themselves in a particular way, and then they project that out to men, right? This is why you often hear, well, what men get to do it, and it's like, no. And you know, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. That was one thing that I really appreciated with him, is that women I don't know why they think men get to walk around here with our things out, slanging everywhere, like we King Kong every day, like we don't have to follow rules too. And that's weird. That's weird to think like it's this. Well, they get to do it. It's like, number one, no, they don't. And then it's weird that you think that they do. Let's assess why you think, let's investigate why you think men get to just walk around here doing whatever they want to do, right? So there's a couple of things wrong with this assessment, or wrong with what you're saying. One, that you think it. Two, why do you think that? Tying that to the whole black women being neoliberal, their lens is all the way messed up. And I would argue black people don't have the luxury to have this type of worldview. Black women don't have the luxury to have this worldview, right? Plus, you mix that with with feminism, and then you mix that with this weird I am woman, black women, divine, right? The divine black women, and all these other things they're on right now. Black women in luxuries, black women soft life. You mix all that in the pot, no wonder they sound insane, right? No wonder. I'm listening to Chrissy talk, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Then I remember what Paris Milan said. Then I remember what the brother said in his comments, and it just hit me. I was like, okay, yeah, this. I'm gonna make a video about this while I still have that energy, right? This is where you get some of that power couple, talk where I'll be the lead attorney and have the corner office, and then he'll be one of the board members, and he'll be CEO type weird thing. They're really recreating suits in their mind, right? They're recreating like Angela Bassett and the brother off of Waiting to Excel in their mind. I don't know if y'all remember me saying this. If y'all remember me saying this months and months ago on the Roger Report. This is actually not months and months ago. This is over a year ago. This is maybe a couple years ago, where I was saying something like, and I remember reading it, and I might even link it in the description box for this. Something like a quarter of people can't distinguish entertainment from reality, or something along those lines, right? It was like a quarter of people, something like that, can't distinguish these things. And if you factor that into women, that would mean that there's a nice chunk of women that can't really tell the difference between the movies and the TV shows and the commercials and what reality is. This is why black men get compared to the top 20% of other men's communities. The entirety of the black male collective in America gets compared to the top 20% of Asian men, of Latino men, of white men, right? Of Arab men, of South Asian men in this country. And then obviously black men then are deemed lacking, right? That's somewhat of some of the neoliberal assessment of black men. You're not like the top 20% white man. All of you are not like the top 20% white man, really the top 5%, really the top 1%, really the top 0.1%, but all of you are not like that. And then the ones of you that are, you don't do a good enough job at promoting black women. Now let's talk about that. What is there, 5 or 6 entertainment houses in the country? None of which anybody owns outside of white men. Asian men don't own it. No, it's always interesting because these other men promote their women. Asian men promoting what in America? They don't own no the 5 entertainment houses. Neither do the South Asian men. Neither do Latino men. Promoting who? And then the Latino men that are promoting, they promoting white Latinas. They're not even promoting the indigenous looking ones that pretty much all of them are. Like 70% of Latinos in America are like some type of Mexican or like Central Asian, so they pretty much look like indigenous folks that speak Spanish. But you turn on Telemundo or whatever the hell, and it's nothing but white Latinos and a handful of mestizo Latinos, and then the comic relief of be the Mario looking Latino. So promote what? Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all can't put me on a panel with these people, bro. Y'all can't. I'm gonna take their head clean off their shoulders and show the world they've been talking this crap for the better part of what? A decade now? Half a decade? And they don't know what they're talking about. And these, once again, these are not dumb women. Like, the reason why I say that is not just to kind of compliment them. No, they're really not dumb. They're just delusional as crap. They're insane, but they're not dumb. And like the brother was saying, if he's right, some of them work in corporate America. They got their degrees in marketing and advertising and whatever the hell. So for them, it's all about image and the aesthetic of something and how something looks. And then you mix that in with that we're dealing with a woman anyway, and that's all they really care about anyway. And then she went to school for this. That's all they're going to talk about. And so the fact that black women aren't being promoted in their mind a particular way, and it's black men's fault because we didn't rape, pillage, conquer the entire planet for them, then you kind of get to where we are now. Right? They can't see anything outside of like this small circle. They can't. Right? It's this, once again, the neoliberal assessment of black men, of masculinity, of manhood, which automatically is going to put white men at the top. Right? They don't even know what they're saying. Like, these other men promote their women. Which one of their women do they promote? Like I just said about the Latinos. Y'all want to have the conversation about South Asians? Which one? You want to have the conversation about Indians? Which women are the Indians promoting? Because Chrissy, if you keep on talking about colorism, then you really don't want to have that conversation about which women in the South Asian community are getting promoted. You want to talk about colorism. Y'all don't even know. That's why it's so hard for other brothers to listen to y'all, because y'all, even y'all own words contradict each other. Do you even know what you're saying? Right? Thank you for the super sticker, Oliver the Gray. Right? Yeah, y'all, whoever that is, get him out of here, bro. Just keep on blocking or deleting his comments. Right? Thank you. Whoever is doing the Lord's work right now with the comments. Thank you. Right? Hopefully you guys can still hear me. You know, but yeah. These people are like the worst, because the neoliberal assessment, first of all, there is a real investigation going on, both from the left and the right of the political spectrum, about this neoliberal agenda, because neoliberalism, both right and left, right? Both right and left politically have engaged in this. So you go from the late 70s with Carter, you go into the 80s and neoliberalism ramps up. That's when they really start deregulating everything with Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan over here in America, Margaret Thatcher in Britain, and then if your country, developing country, it falls onto hard times, the first thing they do with the IMF and the World Bank is tell you, oh yeah, we're privatizing everything. All those social programs you have in your country, oh yeah, turn all of that off. Right? Turn all of that off. And so you let that trickle down into this, into the country, into the social environment, and you have women in general in Western countries sounding insane, right? Schizophrenic as hell, what they want socially and politically. Half the things contradict with the other half of things. But then you let that trickle down into the black community, and black women sound like this. I'm not even going to go in on the brothers that subscribe to some of this weirdo stuff. Like you have to fully flush out your political worldview. I know I'm in the camp with some weirdos, and how these things can be detrimental, and I'll try to mitigate against that. That's why I speak the way I do. But speaking about the women, y'all are saying certain things, not really realizing what it means, not taking it to its logical conclusion, and then seeing how that affects the black community, and even the black women that y'all purport to advocate for. Paris, well, we live in a capitalist country. Oh, okay. Right? And that capital was built off of the backs of who? Black people. So what you think that means? Black woman, what do you think that means, Paris? You know? Chrissy saying, y'all know Candace Owens, yeah, she conservative, and I kind of lean that way too. All right, keep walking that out. Traditional family values. right? Last time I checked, I thought you was trying to be polygynous or something like that. Chrissy, what happened? You see what I'm saying? I tend to lean that way too. You tend to lean that way, but conservative family values. I thought you wasn't trying to get married to have no kids. You see? You see? I'm not saying Mr. Z probably hasn't contradicted himself, but not like that. Right? Chrissy looking like a whole... You literally, a few months ago, was talking about how you're polyamorous or... Not, it's not polygynous. I'm sorry. Polyamorous. Polyamorous. Distinction without a difference, but okay. Right? You just a few months ago was talking about how you polyamorous, right? But now you're talking about how you kind of lean conservative. What? To be honest, y'all just really creating content to get money from your subscribers. Whether you believe in the stuff you're saying or not remains to be seen. You claim to advocate for black women. For Chrissy, she claims to advocate for dark-skinned black women. But as you can see, and then so many of these people don't ever want to get married or have children. Because I would love to see how many of them would raise kids. God forbid y'all have boys and then y'all talk the way y'all do. You imagine hashtag black women with a son, with a dark-skinned black son? You imagine Chrissy having to raise a boy? Kim from Fort Harriet says she don't want to have no kids. She don't want to get married. You imagine Kim from Fort Harriet raising a son? Y'all don't really want to see what it looked like, because you won't have to live his life. But being a mom, you would have to see how women just like you talk to him. Girls just like you treat him. Just like how you were in high school or in middle school. You would have to hear him talk about why he's not going to date black. So many of y'all don't want to have kids. Y'all don't even want to have a little girl, let alone a little boy. Right? Because all a kid do is show you all the error of your ways and slaps you in the face with all your hypocrisies. Right? Y'all don't want that work from your own child. Y'all don't want y'all child to be 27 years old and then tell you, by the way, mom, all of this is wrong with you. Right? You did this wrong. You said this wrong. You remember when you did this when I was younger? You remember when you said this? That whole YouTube channel is a bunch of crap because you're this wrong, that wrong, this wrong. Because everybody goes through it with their parent. Every adult person goes through it with their parent, and they tell them, by the way, now that I'm out your house, now that I'm self-sustaining, right? All these things you said and did during my childhood, y'all don't want that work. Especially if you have a little boy and he grows to be a man, and you had this YouTube channel in the background making money off of other black women's misery. Right? Oh, I forgot. A lot of y'all think that mother card, you can manipulate the way your son sees the world until you no longer can. So many mothers, black mothers in particular, y'all think y'all can manipulate the way your children, especially your sons, see the world until your son start dating women, and then he sees the error in you through them. Y'all don't want that work. No wonder y'all don't want to have kids. No wonder y'all don't want to be married. Y'all definitely don't want to have sons. No wonder y'all want to abort black male sons. You don't want that work when he's 27, 30, 31, 32. You don't want to see what it's like from to raise him and to see how little girls like you treat him or women like you treat him. You don't want him to call you and be like, Mom, I was on this date and this girl just started talking to me crazy. And you could see you in that little girl. And now this kid that you raise gotta go through it because of your ideological your ideology and another woman that's treating your son a certain way that you probably treated other men, maybe even his father. You don't want that work. The term I was trying to get out earlier was ideological children. You don't want your son to be subject to your ideological children and other girls. All right? Once again, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Your neoliberal assessment of men and masculinity, which once again is automatically going to put white men at the top. I didn't say non-black men. I'm specifically talking about white men. Y'all don't really want to see what that looks like. Right? Y'all really don't want to see what that looks like. For your sons to pretty much be living your worldview, what you put out here, right? This assessment, this financialization of the planet, or not really the planet, the West, America in particular, right? There's a consequence to it. And black women adopting this neoliberal worldview, whether they knowingly did it or not, there's a consequence to it. Y'all are living the consequence of y'all worldview, and then getting mad at living the consequence. This is what you signed up for, and you didn't investigate it. You didn't investigate this kind of deregulating of the markets, deregulating of the dating market, right? Putting a market valuation on everything, including men and masculinity and family and children and bearing and raising children. All right, cool. Then you put the onus of all of that on black men. I don't know. Right? Are you sure about that? This is what y'all wanted. And then y'all you know what? Then you say things like, well, we live in a capitalist country. Yeah, we do. We do. And we're all by default capitalists, and we're all by default, about our money. You gotta be, especially if you're trying to survive in this country, and especially if you're trying to prosper, but at what cost? Stop claiming that you're advocating for black women when you're really not. You're just making money off of their rage. You're profiting off of their rage. That's what you're doing. You're profiting off of their rage. And that's some neoliberal crap to do. Right? You hear these people this is why I frequent their channels, right? Because when you checked out Mahogany Pink's video, the one about black love, the part 2, right? There's this there's this date out because all the weight is gonna be lifted off of your shoulders, and she's mixing black women in luxury type of imagery in there, right? And she towards the end, she has a dark-skinned sister, cute dark-skinned sister, kind of giving the googly eyes to this kind of South Asian looking dude, and he's giving her the googly eyes back, and the ambiance in the background, and it's all this nice luxurious imagery, right? And then you could tell how obsessed Chrissy and Kim from For Harriet are with, right, the aesthetics of things. And to a certain extent, they're right. To a certain extent, but they put so much stock in it. The way things look, right? And you find out more and more as you listen to their content and you watch their content how much, like I said earlier, they contradict something they said only a month ago, you know, or a few months ago. But also, you realize how obsessed they are with like the look of things. And then it speaks to why they're so upset with black men. But then they say things, not Kim so much, but this is where you get like the Cynthia G's and stuff like that, and the Lexus Exoduses and all these other people that's like, not only do they make fun of black men for supposedly being conquered, but the media landscape, right? These other men promote their women. No, not in America. No, they don't. They don't own anything. That's why I told y'all this is like an obsession for white men specifically. But it's also going to lead a lot of these women to be munching on fur burgers, right? Because it's like I said, like 5 or 6 entertainment houses. And the boards and the CEOs are pretty much all white. Right? The parent company for these things is pretty much all white. All white men. Don't y'all hear Asian men complaining about the lack of love? They don't get no representation. And when they do, it's some goofy, right? Asexual or non-sexual Asian man. It's recent that Asian dudes are kind of getting some shine because of K-pop. Right? That's recent. Within the past decade. But even with that, Asian men really not getting no love. Which shows you they don't really own the media in the West. Definitely not in America. So what? Well, they promote their women. How? A neoliberal assessment, and not even a really good one. South Asian men, you see them promoting their women all over America? How? Right? These men are loyal to their women. American-born Asian men have like a 39, 38% interracial marriage rate. It's pretty much exclusively to white women. On the West Coast, a couple of them are marrying some Latinas, but it's pretty much to white women. What are you talking about? Y'all just don't know what y'all talking about. All of these people, just say y'all on the paper chase, which is okay. Okay, you're on the paper chase, cool. And you're just going to say whatever you got to say to make money off of hurt black women. You're going to give them some false dreams about dating and marrying out. You're going to give them some false dreams about some luxurious lifestyle that they're going to be able to live once they date or marry out, even though the vast majority of any type of interracial situation they're going to end up with is probably going to be regular, degular, 45, 50, 55, $60,000 a year non-black dude. And I started way too high. Really 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, maybe 65 a year, regular, degular, non-black dude. Y'all have this neoliberal assessment of men and masculinity, and y'all are not even doing a good job at the assessment. Y'all really don't even know how how median and average people are, how median and average these non-black men are. And I'm glad that we're finally having this conversation about money and income and all of this stuff, because it's really showing how much people don't know, including black women. How much they just don't know. Right? Once again, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. I'm listening. Last night I'm at work and I'm listening to Chrissy's most recent video, and I'm like, what? She's talking about Candace Owens and Kanye and that that whole White Lives Matter shirt thing, and she's coming out her mouth weird, like I said earlier, like BLM centered black men. What? Half the reason why black men were pushing against Black Lives Matter, especially black men in the black manosphere, is because they weren't centering black men. As a matter of fact, they just was using black men's dead bodies for the advancement of black LGBTQ rights and LGBTQ rights as a whole. And if it was up to women like you, Chrissy, you would use black men's dead bodies to somehow promote black women's love life or sex life or interracial relationships. For, look, these black men are dying, so we should date out. They're getting murdered and killed by the cops. Even more reason to date out. I wonder if you're just mad that they beat you to the punch of using dead black men's bodies to advocate for something completely different than, black men. Right? Once again, these people don't know what they're talking about. And I keep on stressing this. It's not because they're dumb. It's because they're so entrenched in a particular worldview, in a particular way of thinking, they can't see outside of that. They just can't. So all of their education and intelligence just gets stuck in this one place of black men ain't ish. They not showing up for us. They not doing this for us. They're not doing that for us. And everything gets sucked into that gravitational pull. Chrissy was essentially, and I'm going to paraphrase it, essentially speaking of how black men aren't giving black women grace, and how black women, they will ride out for anything. They will put the cape on for anything, right? And she just wished that more black women would do that for black women causes, right? And when she talks about colorism, she wished she would. And I'm like, bro, you just. You didn't even get your assessment right about BLM. Like, half your job is to have your ears to the streets, Chrissy. I don't know if you realize that. If you're gonna be talking about color issues and colorism all day, every day, and black women and trying to promote black women and dark-skinned black women in particular, half your job is keeping your ears to the streets. If you're gonna be profiting off of their misery, then half your job is keeping your ears to the streets. So how do you not know, unless you do know and you're pretending like you don't, that BLM was pretty much a front group for black LGBTQ? Black men in the black manosphere been talking about that for a few years. But I guess when you all about the money, once again, neoliberal, and you financialize everything, then you talk a big game about being about black women and dark-skinned black women, but you don't really mean it. All of this, like I said, all of this is getting sucked in the gravitational pull. I guess because these things might mess with your money, you don't really pay attention. Or you do pay attention, you just don't talk about it a particular way because it's gonna mess with your money, right? Like I said, these people come out their mouth, there is no black community. Sounds a whole like Margaret Thatcher saying there is no there is no such thing as society, right? Sounds like um um Ayn Rand pushing hyper individuality, right? Sounds like Gordon Gekko, I know, fictional character, greed is good, right? Y'all don't want guardrails. Y'all don't want that safety net. Then deal with it, what it looks like to not have it. Many of y'all said y'all not having children. Y'all don't want to get married. Okay. No wonder y'all trying to stockpile all this money because maybe y'all not going to have this spouse to look out for you or for you to divorce and take half from. Maybe that's why you're making money off of other black women's sadness and loneliness, rage and anger at black men instead of the system, which once again, misplaced anger, but okay. Then y'all come out y'all mouth about how these other non-black men promote their women, and I'm like, who and how? Y'all come out y'all mouth about how these men provide for their women. Then we have video after video after video of non-trailer park living white women, and we're not talking about the poorest of the poor white women, telling you how their men are lacking. You even got white women calling into Kevin Samuel's show, and we're not talking about Honey Boo Boo them, telling you how white men are not showing up financially. Y'all just don't know what y'all talking about. You're like chocolate dip neoliberal white men. Hyper capitalist white men. Painted as a black woman. No wonder y'all are so unhappy. That crap ain't even working for most white men, let alone black women. No wonder y'all so unhappy. Refuse to analyze the overall environment and refuse to take the lessons out if you even do. Right? Y'all refuse to have the race conversation because that would maybe cause you to align with black men. Oh, straight black men? Ooh. Ouch. Then I swear I seen Themis in the damn comment section for Chrissy. I think. I guess gay black men are profiting off of black women's misery too. He got his own channel. He frequent a bunch of these sisters' channels. Excuse me, he has his own channel. I said he got, y'all know what I mean. He has his own channel. He frequents these women's channel. So black women, y'all just gonna let everybody just give y'all a bunch of rage porn content, and y'all just gonna super chat them to death, huh? Cash app them to death for them just giving you more and more rage-filled content. More black men ain't ish content. Right? It's a horrible neoliberal assessment of manhood and masculinity, and it's always going to lead women, including women of color, including black women, into chasing after white dudes. As evidenced by the research from Miss Celeste. I keep on saying Chantel. It's actually Celeste Bugs, Dr. Celeste Bugs, excuse me, and Dr. Jennifer Lundquist. Yes, two women. Two women poured over all this dating information online and pretty much came up to the same conclusion. Women are chasing after white dudes. White women, Latina women, Asian women, black women, Hispanic women. Right? But these other men promote their women. Once again, which men? Right? Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. And it's not even because y'all are dumb. It's just because you keep on looking at the world from this one lens. Black men ain't ish lens. The neoliberal lens. Have you even done some like internal work? All this talk about therapy. All this talk about therapy. Have y'all ever done some introspection about why do I think this way? How does this affect black men? How does this affect black women? The women that I claim to advocate for. The women I claim to care about. The way I'm speaking, the things I'm doing. Wait a minute. Actually, Chrissy did put out that video that said, yeah, this is not going to be a victory for all women or something like that. She said, this is not going to, this is not the best thing for the community. Once again, Ayn Rand hyper-individuality, huh? And then it's not gonna work. It's not only that it's not gonna work. It's gonna be detrimental to most black women. So a handful of black women are going to win, but most are going to fall on their face. There is only one answer. And it's community with black men. Oh yeah, we going there today. There is only one answer. What did Thanos say? Led you right back to me. There is only one answer. Y'all can fight it all you want. You can fight it all you want. You'll be damned if them white men ever really promote y'all on some serious tip. You think they don't hear y'all screaming all through Twitter, all through YouTube, all through Instagram? Now they giving y'all some BS interracial mixed commercials. They hear y'all screaming. You think they really gonna promote beautiful black women? In Chrissy's case, dark-skinned, beautiful black women? Y'all realize like less than 10% of the world's population is white, and yet like all the supermodels is white. Are white, excuse me. You got a handful of Asian supermodels. So you got a damn there no South Asian supermodels, a handful of East Asian supermodels, a handful of black supermodels from the continent and from America and from Europe, a handful of black women supermodels, and just woman after woman from Eastern Europe and Russia, white women. So that lets you know they're purposely like, nah, to the black women. Nope. You think they're gonna promote dark skin, slim, hella fine black women? You think they're gonna let you promote yourself? There's only one way. It's black men getting the reins of power and bogarting. But that's really hard to do when your black women keep on talking crap. It's really hard to drive this car when your black women keep on punching you in the face and trying to yank the steering wheel from out your hand. It's really hard to do it. and keep on talking crap about how they could drive this car better. Never mind the fact that they Ultima is all beat up, Ultima Energy. Oops. You have, I'm not even going to go back to slavery. Let's not even go there. I'm not even going to go back to Jim Crow. You have like 40 plus 50 years, 50, 40 years of them hearing y'all. And they gave y'all positions in academia so you could defecate on black men, right? And they promoted some boomers, black men and black women, so that black people could stop complaining about no representation, right? They gave y'all a couple of black politicians. And that's about it. A couple of black people with some money. So that the rest of the world could stop telling America how racist it is. And that's about it. And yet black women's neoliberal assessment of everything blinds them to all of this. They think there's another way outside of black men. Well, you've been trying it for decades. How's it been working? You've done everything. You've defecated on black men. You've shamed black men. You've insulted black men. You claim black men were secretly gay. You've done all of it. Ladies, black women, I know black women under 40, under 45. I don't know if y'all realize y'all been doing all of this. Your foremothers have been doing, y'all, they've done it all. They've tried every which way to promote and get black women on top outside of black men. It hasn't been working that well. Y'all claim y'all not y'all mothers. Y'all not gonna mammy for black men. Y'all not gonna do this. Y'all not. I don't know if y'all were paying attention to all those black women coming out the 70s and 80s. They weren't all about black men. Are you insane? We ain't mammying all these. Whenever they hear a black woman say anything positive about a black man, or not at least defecate on black men, these women are mammies. Tina Knowles is a mammy after she had talked to her husband all type of crazy on that interview. What? Y'all see Taraji sassing Ibra in that interview years ago, and then you think she a mammy when she says, black men, we need you. It's always interesting to me when black women like Nicki Minaj, Taraji, Carrie Hilson speak the way they do, and then regular black women tell them they don't know what they're talking about. Let's address something. You realize that these women are mingling with white dudes every day, right? You realize that they're on photo shoots with white men, they're in Hollywood with white men, they're in the recording studios with white men, and all these non-black men, they're flying all around the country, flying all around the world to do movies and commercials and all this other stuff. When they say, when Nicki Minaj tells y'all, like, I don't agree with this lady often, but when she tell y'all, like, y'all are trying to live vicariously through her, and she know what these men are about, was Taraji trying to do something for the Democratic Party when she said, black men, we need y'all? Yes, probably. Like 99% true. Same thing with Carrie Hilson? Yes, probably 99% true. But you think these women don't know? They know. They know better than you. You probably haven't left your city or your town in how long? These women are flying around the country all day, every day. Mingling with non-black men all day, every day. They know. They know the real that's going on in these spaces. Right? Oprah here over here piling around with Weinstein for decades, knowing what was going on. Then when he get caught up, she saved her own ass by speaking about it just a little bit, just a smidge. You got pictures with this dude going back years. All these black people, whether you voted for Reagan, I'm not Reagan, whether you voted for Trump or not, that's not where I'm going. All these black people, same black people that claim how racist Trump is and blah blah blah. We got pictures with y'all taking with him. Y'all got pictures with him, going back all in the 80s and the 90s and the early aughts. Then he come to power, he talking all type of crazy. What happened? That's because y'all not firm in nothing. Y'all not firm in y'all politics. Y'all couldn't smell what Trump was before he was in office, before he ran for office. That's that neoliberal assessment. Y'all don't stand for nothing. Y'all just saw Trump. Y'all saw all that gaudy signs of gold, all that gaudy gold. The way he does luxury, that gaudy, weird representation of money and wealth, and y'all ate it up. All of our rappers ate it up. And black women, y'all will wear them too. Shout out to Serena. Shout out to Claudia Jordan. Shout out to Oprah. Right? Y'all ate it up too. That neoliberal assessment of everything got a lot of people looking real crazy. Black women. If y'all really supposed to be the moral compass of the country, then act like it. Don't just claim it so you could beat up on black men and get the rest of the nation to ignore the plight of black men. Straight black men. Oops. I wasn't supposed to say that. Don't keep on claiming this so that you could shut everybody down every time we have a complaint about something. So you could tell the entire society, oh, ignore those straight black men. They're homophobic and transphobic. Ignore them. Ignore them. They want to be white men. Ignore them. Because that's what you've been doing with that moniker of being the moral high ground of the country and being the moral center of the country and all of this other crap. Just using it to tell everyone else to ignore black men. I don't know if you realize those days seem to be slowly coming to an end. You better get down with black men while you got the chance. But y'all are hard-headed. Y'all are not going to listen, so yeah. You see Chrissy preparing her subscribers. Not even just Chris, a bunch of them content creators. It's scary. That's why I got some pushback for some of the elders in this space. It's scary. A bunch of these content creators, they're preparing their subscribers to die alone for real. Y'all been hearing me say that. They're really preparing their subscribers. They're hard up on this. If we can't live this particular life, this is why aesthetics matter so much to them. So they're so serious about like, yo, if we can't live this type of life, we might as well die alone. I'm perfectly okay with not having kids and getting married and all of that. If he can't put me in opulence, oh well. It's a sad sight to see. But when you put a price tag on everything, a high price tag on top of that, this is what you get. Shout out to all you lame ass white dudes that thought this was funny until it came back and bit you in the rear end because your women started putting an insane price tag on themselves too. Too expensive. It was funny until it wasn't. How many of these women work in corporate America and essentially adopted a white, racist, hyper-capitalist man's view of the world, and then now try to come back in the black community and impose that worldview on the black community, and are mad that black men do not exhibit the exact same signs as some of these white dudes, and you still wouldn't even want black men to do it. You only want the luxury and the opulence of these non-black men, or what you think they're living, or how you think they treat their wives. Once again, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, right? You know, I looked down just now and I saw John Jones said, "What's better than aesthetic? Substance." Yeah, but they want the substance wrapped into something aesthetically pleasing. And if it's not, then they don't want it. That's much of what we're dealing with now. And y'all don't really hear me talking about how social media done turn the world upside down. Yeah, yes and no. Exaggerated a bunch of stuff. But this, oh yeah, no, social media definitely made this worse. Because you got to think, like, they're subscribed to a bunch of these other content creators. They're subscribed to a bunch of these entertainers. And so now Cardi B is almost their neighbor. They call it parasocial relationships. Where, like, this person, you almost feel like this person is your friend, right? Because you're watching their content, and like they're posting so much about their daily lives and what they're doing, right? And you could see the inside of their homes and their big mansions, and they're showing you their garage and their, you know, these big sprawling mansions, just huge. And so it's almost like you could smell it, you could taste it, you could almost reach it, you could almost touch it. Back in the days, if you weren't watching cribs, you didn't know how big these people's homes were. The only time you saw these celebrities is when they came to your town, when they came to your city and you went to their concert. Maybe you had enough money to go backstage and meet them. For people like us that live in major cities, maybe you catch them walking the streets in a nicer part of town, if you're lucky. But now, because many of these people are posting, and then they're, in a weird way, they're doing that whole, like, manifest and work hard, and if you do these things and whatever. So, like, they're showing you their nice stuff in a way to almost inspire you, but really they're making you delusional as hell. Because they're not telling you how rare this is. I don't think they know how rare it is. They know how rare some of their things are. The one of 500 Bugattis, or the one of this, right? One of 1,000 this car, or, you know, only how many people have a house this big in the country, or whatever. They know that. But I don't think they understand how rare they are outside of that billionaire list. I don't think most people, that's why I mention that billionaire list all the time. Because most people don't know. Once again, there's only about 27 to 2,800 billionaires on the planet recorded. Even if you double it and we say all the people that might be billionaires of some illicit mob activity or whatever, let's say you double it. You still working on less than 6,000. That ain't nothing. That's nothing. Out of almost 8 billion people on the planet. But yet these women are watching, they're subscribed to these multi-millionaires. Once again, only 56 million millionaires on the planet. If you want to double it, 102. I give y'all space to live out your fantasies. It still don't make no sense. Like I said, let's double it. Let's say it's not 56. Let's talk about people doing illicit activity all around the planet. Let's double it and say 102. 102 million out of almost 8 billion people. That ain't a lot. The neoliberal assessment of stuff got y'all sounding crazy. On top of all the other things that make y'all sound crazy, or contribute to you sounding crazy, or contribute to you having a all type of messed up worldview. Right? Do y'all even know what's going on? No. And that's something that I might want to delve into also in another video. The aesthetics of things and women's obsession with the aesthetics of things, and how social media has made that worse, and how these content creators and influencers have made that worse, right? And then celebrities not posting their lives all the time, and obviously not posting everything about their lives, but posting their lives all the time has made that worse, right? I will remind y'all again for the 1 billionth time. I'm going to keep on reminding y'all because to me it was one of the most paramount important videos that Kevin ever did, when he just asked the women, how much do you think men make on average? And they were coming up with all type of crazy numbers. A couple of them, I think one or two of them might have said 100, but they were mainly hovering around that $70,000, $80,000 a year mark. Insane. Insane. These men are your brothers, they're your husbands, they're your ex-husbands, they're your boyfriends, they're your baby daddies, they're your sneaky links, they're your sons, they're your nephews, and y'all don't even know how much these men make? You're that delusional? And you're black women? What? Every time I say it, it boggles my mind. Every single time. I should not be surprised. Every single time I say it, it's just like, but what in the world convinced you of this? And it speaks to the difference between perception and reality. Or deception and reality. Right? Then you got to ask who's been deceiving these women. I think they've been deceiving themselves. But once again, everything from movies to TV shows to social media and all of it has distorted their entire worldview. The lens at which they see the world is just all type of messed up. They need new glasses or contacts. Right? Insane. And so I'm about to close it out, you guys. But yeah, just look, I'm going to do a better version of this video. I'm probably going to give the definition of neoliberal again on that video. So y'all look out for that. It might be coming up later on today. Or tonight, better yet. But yeah, so that we could talk about this insanity. The neoliberal assessment of manhood and masculinity, of relationships, of marriage, these women also viewing themselves a particular way, and how that trickles out all through society. Also, how many of these women are essentially white, hyper-capitalist, racist men, but painted black women, right? But painted black women. And so in that case, the young lady that had the Confederate flag mask on her face on Dennis Sperling's show, and then also had the Blue Lives Matter or whatever mask on her face, or Cop Lives Matter mask on her face on the Roger Report show, that young lady is correct then. The best match is black women and white men, right? Match made in heaven. Because if you have remade yourself into essentially a white capitalist man painted black woman, then that is your natural home. You should be with a white dude. Especially when your lens Like I mention this all the time, the miseducation of a Negro. When your lens is that of a white racist man to black people in generally speaking, to black men specifically, then your home should be with those dudes. I don't think you're gonna like what you see over there, but you're gonna be over there and it's too late. Right? I looked down. Why did I look down? Uh, KP said Negro liberal. KP, I might steal that. That might be the title for the next video. If you don't mind, I might steal that. That's a good one and it's funny. People are gonna think I'm talking about like left-leaning black people, but I might. Let me see. Neo-Negro liberal. Neo-Negro liberal or Negro neoliberal. I might remix it a little bit, KP, but that's good. That's funny, brother. That's funny. That's funny. And it's true. These people assessment and like, man, I don't know, man. Maybe it's the way I think. I'm not gonna say that I never, like, I like nice things too, bro. Right? But I think I just think about where the black community is, and like I think about money a particular way, and like I think about if you have this particular lens that you view the world in, how does that then affect you and other black men and then other black people? Right? That's why y'all don't really see me get mad at black people. I'm of the not blaming black people the most and not blaming black people first tribe. I like to take a step back and assess these things. And that don't mean I won't be mad or disappointed or sad, but usually disappointed in how we react to things and how we just, yeah, really how we react to things. That doesn't mean that doesn't happen, right? But I tend to look at these things at a macro level, right? Especially when you see the trends. Once you start passing past 5 and 10% of something, you might want to see, okay, what's causing this? Right? And I don't know how many black women are doing that to their own detriment. Y'all notice when I talk, I'm like, all right, be selfish. Be selfish. Be self-centered. But what you're doing ain't even working. You're already self-centered. You're already selfish. You already said you're not marching for black men. You already said you know, screw these black men. Go date out. Go marry out. Right? Run for your lives. Leave Blackistan. Black men national. Y'all already saying that. It ain't working for y'all. You're already saying that and it's not working for you. Right? I don't know why. I just looked down. It's not showing me you guys' comments right now. Okay, there we go. There. Okay, for a second it wasn't showing me you guys' comments. Right? Be selfish. Is it working? Be self-centered. You know what? Screw black men. But when we read your comments, you talk about the white men you've dated. I've dated multiple white men, and this type of treatment happens. And huh? So you've been dating out for half a decade, and you don't got no ring yet. Interesting. Interesting. You've dated I thought you said they're better. If you dated multiple white dudes, what happened? What, like, are you one of the women that don't want to get married and have children? Then that's a different type of conversation. But I thought you said you were dating them because it's better over there. Those are your words. I thought that's what y'all said. Neoliberal assessment. I thought that's what y'all said, right? Where's the insane carat diamond ring? Where's the boulder on your finger? Right? Where's the 2.3 kids in the McMansion and whatever luxury car or luxury SUV? I thought y'all said y'all went over there because it's better. They treat y'all better. They pay for more stuff. That's what y'all said. But now you saying you've been dating white dudes for 5-6 years and they treat you better. Oh, if they treat you better, where's the ring? You're lying. You either haven't dated any of them, or you dated them and they regular smegular, or you dated them and you have horror stories. And you're going to be like Lexus Exodus and slip up one day and say it. The way she said that, I don't think she meant to say it like that. Neoliberal assessment of masculinity and manhood got y'all looking really retarded right now. Shout out to KP, Negro liberal. And that's why maybe y'all sound so schizophrenic too. Because neoliberals are both conservative and liberal, both left and right. Maybe that's why y'all sound so schizophrenic. Right? Because y'all all about the bag. Right? Regardless of what it costs. What it costs you in energy and time, in spirit, in friendship, in loved ones. Y'all are literally, and for these content creators, y'all are literally profiting off the rage of other black women, the sadness and the loneliness of other black women, the feelings of rejection of other black women. Especially for those like Paris Milan. You're literally profiting off of the rage of other black girls and women. That's your business model. Now you done turn your channel into the kidnap hotline. And how many times do you have to retract because they found the girl that supposedly was missing? How many times that's gonna happen, Paris? Y'all hopping on bandwagon after bandwagon. Neoliberal assessment. Just trying to get the bag. Shout out to all of the subscribers that y'all have. That just watch y'all switch it up every other day. The one constant is that black men ain't ish, but everything else, y'all switch it up every other day for the money. Every other day it's a new topic. Black women in luxury, black women soft life, black women empowerment, swirler, divesting. Right? Every other day. So I'll pause right there, y'all. Spainman said, PM is the queen of that. PM is the queen of that. Yeah, she is. Oh, I didn't know that. So Spainman says she shared a GoFundMe that turned out to be a scam and had to backtrack. I think that could happen to any one of us. But it a lot of this, like, what's the word? Inspiring language has turned into a scam. That's why I'm really careful with that manifest, inspire language, that all this positivity talk. To me, there is a toxic positivity, right? Like that God did freaking DJ Khaled stuff. Like that right? What grinds my gears? Because all I see it as a big ass money grab. So you got people profiting off of you from the bottom end with your anger and your rage and your resentment. Then you got people profiting off of you, selling you some fake hope and stuff like that. And I'm not saying there's not things to be hopeful for. In positive, like you see, Mr. Z, I giggle like a schoolgirl. I'm not. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying these people are cynical, and they making money off of you coming and going. Right? So Paris Milan shares this some GoFundMe that turns out to be a scam. It reminds me of Boyce Watkins with the Bit Connect or whatever the hell, right? And Hill Harper them. Y'all are black people and y'all are black influencers and leaders, and what the hell, man? Y'all have all these followers, you have all these people that listen to y'all. And like y'all just using it for a big money grab. And that's why sometimes it look like y'all don't stand for nothing. You say something here today and then you contradict it tomorrow because it's just a big money grab. Let me get all these people to support me and get behind me, and then I'm going to sell their support to the highest bidder. Right? Whether it's their anger, their rage, their sadness, their loneliness, or their aspirationalism. There's a whole lot of people whose business model is selling you on business. That's their business model. Or their business model is selling you, you can do it. This is where toxic positivity comes in. So of course it's easy to catch Paris Milan up. She told you we live in a capitalist society. She's right. And we're all de facto capitalists. You ain't gonna see me saying that like that. I'll say that, but not like how she said it. I won't mean it the same way. I won't use it as an excuse to screw over my subscribers. Because I'm trying to keep my channel, and one of these crazy next level neo-Nazi divestors might mess up my bag. Because that's what it was for her. She didn't want her channel to get demonetized or get taken down because she's associated with the next level up from her level of divester. Right? Neoliberal assessment of everything, even of other black women. Y'all are leveraging black women's sadness, loneliness, ignorance to the environment, even though they're living through it and they're feeling it. Y'all are leveraging that for money so that you can live a nice life. And you're directing all of their angst and anger and rage, not at the white racist power structure legitimately, but back to black men. That's what makes y'all the worst. That's what makes y'all the worst. Once again, neoliberals. All of this goes right back, literally what Chris Tucker told y'all in what, Rush Hour 2? Just follow the money is going to lead you down to an old white man. Literally the truth. Literally the truth. Chris Tucker told Jackie Chan that what? When did Rush Hour 2 come out? The early aughts? The late 90s or early aughts? I think it was the early aughts. He told y'all like 20 years ago. Something like that. And y'all still find a way to blame black men for all of your hardships. When it was these white racist neoliberal men, the ones that y'all worship and tell black men that those men are better than us. It was those men who put this into not into power, into motion. There we go. When Milton Friedman and the Chicago Boys came out, y'all should have known. Right? Bill Clinton told y'all the era of big government is done, and y'all let him go with that. Y'all let him say that. And then go about showing you that. The worst. Right? So I'll truly pause right here. I stayed on a little bit longer because of you, Spade Man. Black Spain Man said black man. Wait, let me. I'll press the wrong thing. Okay, Spain Man said Black Manosphere 3.5. Black men in luxury. For real though. Because we haven't built our own infrastructure to counteract the white man. Okay, goddamn. Spain Man, you gotta keep me here for a few more minutes. Okay, so you're talking about 6% of the country spread out in 50 states. 6% of this country, which this country already is hyper focused on black men, just waiting for us to lift the thumb the wrong way. They're not afraid of nobody else. Not Asian men, not Latino men, no one. Not even black women, no one. 6% of black men spread over 50 states, mainly the South, and the South is pretty much the same as it was pre-1970. Right? And black women want us to counteract what, and not only that, are y'all even helping? Oh, you think you could just sit on your hands and black men are supposed to turn America into Wakanda for black women? Oh, huh. Yeah, keep dreaming. Because other women didn't do that. I don't know what you're talking about. Other women didn't do that. That's where Paris Malone comes in with her foolishness with that post that she posted when the Ukrainian crisis, when the Ukrainian thing popped off. Talking about, look at these men, they're defending their women. Black men would never do this, looking like a whole fool. Even white people was telling you how dumb you looked. White women were telling you how dumb you looked. Ukrainians were telling you how dumb you looked. So busy trying to defecate on black men, you talking out your ass. Talking about this infrastructure thing. That's not how the world works. When black women talk like that, just point them to the nearest white man and just get out of here. Vacate, scramble. Not scramble, scram, right? They're so much better that get out of here. Then go, just go. Now we know how that's going to turn out for the vast, vast, vast majority of them, but so what? Get out of here. Black men are the worst in the world. All right, go. Go to the mythical, magical white man. Go. It's foolishness. Spademan says they're blaming us for not being Eric James Killmonger, Saint Patrick, right? It's foolishness, man. It's foolishness. And it didn't take. Y'all realize that this Black Manosphere project is about a decade or so old? Like this coalescing of a Black Manosphere is about a decade old, and you see how we got their backs to the wall already. Like BGS is right, it's not gonna fall apart. This is not gonna fall apart overnight. So I'm not saying that we made this huge, right? I'm not trying to over exaggerate the strides that we've made, but you already see the chinks in the armor already, because their fucking armor was made out of, excuse my language, their armor was made out of paper mache. Right? Their armor was made out of paper mache, and the armor was given to them by white folks. I don't like to poo-poo Black women's achievements, but a lot of that achievement is because white society had the thumb on the scales for y'all. Y'all don't really want to know how much of that achievement. Yeah, you worked hard. Yeah, you kept your nose in the books. Yeah, you were valedictorian of your high school. Okay. But you don't want to know how much of those achievements is because white people had the thumb on the scales for y'all. Y'all really don't want to know. And I could tell y'all really don't want to know, because the second anybody start talking about doing something for Black boys, y'all start making all type of phone calls and try. No, 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 you can't. No. Emergency panic buttons. In case of emergency break glass, y'all start all of that because you don't want to know. You want the thumb on the scales for you. Then deal with the consequences of having the thumbs on the scale for you. Then, if you want the thumbs on the scale for you, fine. All right, cool. Deal with the other side of that, and it ain't looking good. The other side of that is a bunch of lonely Black women, because more and more of your young Black men are deciding to leave. Leave the Black community, leave the country. And it doesn't have to be a lot, it just has to be a critical mass. That's the thing I think a lot of people don't realize. It doesn't have to be a lot of Black men, it doesn't have to be half. It just has to be a critical mass of Black men, more and more, that date out, marry out, go to other countries, marry other women from outside the country, or leave the country entirely. And then we'll see how much that whole Black women swirl and divest. Let's see what it really looked like. Let's put it to the test. More and more Black men travel outside the country, get married outside the country, marry other women from outside the country, maybe even other Black women from outside the country. And let's see Black women that were born and raised in America, let's see how it looks for them. And that includes Black women from the diaspora that were born and raised in America. All that dating out, marrying out, let's see. Because I could tell y'all right now, as a child of immigrants, these brothers from outside the country, brothers in the diaspora, they're not trying to deal with no Americanized Black women. I'm telling y'all that right now. Brothers from Haiti, Jamaica, Trinidad, Bahamas, Nigeria, South Africa, Eritrea, name them. Ethiopia, they're not trying to deal with it. They're not. That is a one-way street. I'm going to just let y'all know now. Once a sister start getting assassin and rolling her neck, out the window. So yeah, black men get to marry and date out far more, unless you doing the green card thing. If you're not doing the green card thing, yeah, have fun. Thinking you could sass a black man from another country? All right. With the attitude and the neck rolling and the I am woman, hear me roar, and you adhere to my rules? Oh, all right. All those little slick one-liners and stuff? Nah, bro. Nope. Nope. That's the that y'all notice, like, when a lot of these sisters, they move to Britain, they move to America, or they were born and raised in America or Britain or whatever, it's hard for them, right? In many ways, because if they don't marry a black American person, and when I mean black American, I'm not specifically saying ADOS, I mean a black person born and raised in America. If they don't marry a brother from America, it going back home and getting and meeting a husband, black men can do that. Black women, woo, that's, man. Because you got to think about how foreign she looks to him. Sass for no reason, one line. And then we know we're not saying all these women in other countries are some docile, shrinking violets. That's not true. They're not pushovers. But all the extra sass for no reason, all that cutesy one-liner thing y'all think y'all doing, nope. That's why I laugh when they think they're going to get white men from outside the country. Maybe some Western European white dudes. But Eastern European, first of all, they're racist as crap. Like literally neo-Nazi. I'm not just throwing that out there to throw that out there. They're literally neo-Nazi racists. So there you go. But then even if they weren't, that culture clash, yeah, right. Yeah, right. Didn't Tariq Nasheed read a horror story about a sister that was dating some Ukrainian dude or some whatever dude? Right? That family turned out to be all type of racist or whatever. Or he turned out to be all type of racist or whatever. Something like that. Right? Y'all just don't know what's going on. Y'all don't. Y'all don't. Then y'all have the worst type of assessment of men and masculinity ever, a neoliberal lens. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the super chat. Y'all have the worst. And then y'all find yourselves here, looking schizophrenic as hell. Looking schizophrenic as hell. No principles, don't stand for nothing. All you know is you want nice things and black men ain't ish. That's what you know. It ain't looking good. It's really not. All right, y'all. About to call it a day. I'll see. I'm gonna try to do a better version of this. I might rehash some of this stuff, but I'm gonna try to do a better version of this later on tonight. And yeah, shout out to KP with the Negro Liberal. All right, everyone. I'll pause right there. Have a good rest of y'all day. All right. Love, peace, and chicken grease.